at all. We're going to be making a never-ending card. And what we do with these, so they sit nice and flat and they sit together. They open up as the first fold as a gatefold. The second fold opens top to bottom. The third fold opens as a gatefold again, taking you to almost the end, and then finally top and bottom again, and you're back to your original starting position. So folds nice and easily, nice and flat. It comes with a matching envelope, which it fits inside lovely, and I've just put some double-sided on the top so you can stick it. So your gatefold card will fold open as a gatefold initially, top to bottom, gatefold again, little white panel on the inside for you to write on, and then finally top to bottom, and it comes back to the never-ending card. Now with these you can stand them up anyway, so I tend to stand mine like a H. So you have your line in the centre and you have your two folds, and it stands up prettily like that. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to go to the printable card store and you're going to purchase the never-ending card kit, and the downloads all of the items that you will need. So you have two topper sheets. So you have your first topper sheet, you have your second topper sheet, you have your two panels. You are going to need to print these twice because this is going to be the basis of our never-ending card. On the back of this you want to print the backing sheet, so absolutely gorgeous pattern that is. So print these twice. As you can see, I've done that there, and I've also printed on the back with the backing paper. And then you have the envelope. So you have the front and the back of the envelope. And what we would need to do is cut all of these out, and in true demonstrator fashion, here's one I've cut out earlier. Now I've cut all my sections out. So in your topper section you have your little squares, you have your side panels, you have your larger squares, you have your 4 never-ending card individual sheets, and you have your envelope front and back. Now we'll start with the envelope. What I've done is pop double-sided tape along the top, and that will allow you to stick the envelope closed. You have the flap at the bottom, so anywhere where you see the straight line you want to score. So you're going to score and fold, which will be the base of the envelope, and then on the back of the envelope you have the two side flaps, so you would need to score and fold. And all we're going to do is I'm going to start with this bottom flap, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom of the inside of the envelope. And all I'm going to do is just use a little bit of wet glue, and I'm just going to put that all across the bottom. I tend to like the wet glue just because it gives me that little bit of wiggle time. So if I haven't got it quite lined up where I need it to be straight away, I have a couple of minutes to just move it around. All I'm going to do is press it down firmly, and then just check from the back that it is lined up where it needs to be lined up. Now this glue does take a couple of minutes to set completely, but it does grab straight away. I'm just going to check the side panels will fold over for me, and I've got no white showing anywhere on the back of this card. So that is lined up where I want it to be, and the glue is starting to set for me. So I'm just going to open that out. On the side panels I'm just going to put a little bit of glue each of the side panels, and then hold them flat while I just seal the envelope. So all I'm doing is closing the envelope, pressing down on either side. Now you can pop this together and hold it together with a little peg, or stand something on it, anything you want to, just to keep it closed. So nice firm press all the way along, and we're just going to leave that to dry for a few moments, and then our envelope is completely ready for the card once we've made the card. So just going to pop that aside to dry. We've already put the double-sided tape on the top of the envelope, as you can see. so that will then stick nice and firm, and when your card is finished you can pop your card inside the envelope. Just going to pop that aside to dry. Now for the never ending card, you've printed 4 bases. Now you've double-sided printed, so you can see on the back of them all they have the matching background paper on the back. Now what you need to do is take your scoreboard, and again where the dark blue lines are, so if you can see the lines here and here, you're going to score on those. Now a little tip, what I've done on my scoreboard, I don't know if you can see, I've coloured in my lines. That way, when I put the card on there I want to score, I can actually see the top and the bottom of the line, and I don't have to wiggle it around too much to make sure I'm in the right place, because I can visually see. Now what I tend to do that you don't have to do, but I find this works easier, you're going to score down the centre of here as well. So if you measure how wide it is, and it is literally just over 7.5. So on my scoreboard, all I'm going to do is move it in at 1/4 centimetre, and then I'm going to score down the 3.5 centimetre line, which will give me my half fold. I just find doing that and it helps it manoeuvre a little bit better. So we've now got our 4 pieces. Now how this works, we're actually going to glue the top right and left and bottom right and left 4 corners. So that's all we're going to pop our glue on there. It's up to you if you use glue, double-sided tape, whatever your personal preference is. Again, I just like the glue because it just gives me that little bit of wiggle time. And all I'm doing is putting the glue on and then making sure it goes to the edges. And my personal preference is wet glue, just because I find it gives me that little bit of extra time to get it in the right place. So I've glued the 4 corners. I'm just going to push this together so the sides touch and line it up top and bottom. Now we've got those 2 going upwards. The next 2 will come in sideways and it will sit across corner to corner. So we'll line the first corner up, pop him down, pop the second one on, and exactly the same with the other one at the bottom. And all I'm now going to do is give it a nice little press, and then just make sure all my corners are lined up. Now this is such an amazing card because people look at it and think, how on earth does that work? And it amazes people how this works. And it's simply 4 pieces of card which you cut and scored to give you the basic shape. So just going to give them a nice firm press. Adele's popped the prices on the screen for the never ending card, so you've got the link for that if you want to go to the store even. So all we're going to do, so by now putting my extra folds in the centre, it's just going to help move this card along. So your first fold again is your gatefold card, and all I'm doing is just opening the card at each fold and just rescoring. Just literally pressing down on all of my score lines. So the second one then opens upwards and at the bottom, and again I'm just going to reinforce my score lines. So as you can see now, by reinforcing the score lines, it makes it very manoeuvrable. If we start back to our original position, now I've got this facing towards me, so I've got it so the gatefold is my first fold. Now what we're going to do with the smaller side section we've cut out from the topper section, you have so many matching ones. So I have 2 of the flowers, I have 4 of the presents, I have some sideways on, sending warm wishes, and I really need to put my glasses on, and some baubles as well. And in the smaller squares I have the matching white flowers and I have the matching present. So all I'm doing is I'm laying these out in front of me ready for me to stick down. I've then also got my square white panel which I will use to write on, and then my decorative panels for top and bottom. So now I'm all ready to stick together. So for my first panels, I'm just going to use the big ones. And I think I'm going to have the little girl in the sleigh. So a little bit of glue on this. You're always better to stick these flat because you don't want any height which will stop the mechanisms from working. So for this one, just nice and flat, so you can just stick everything down and then it will make it twist and turn a lot easier. So the centre panels are down, and all I'm doing to decorate is following the folds in the card. So those are the big centre panels, and I've got long panels there. So for my long panels, I'm just going to pop my decorations on. Now I'm going for the ones with the words on, and I'm going to put them in the opposite top and bottom corners, and then I'm going to put the flowers in the other corners. Now the good thing of this, anything goes. You can put family photos on here, so if you want to make a memory never-ending card, you can then just put little family photos on there with the journal tags and write on them. So for example, my daughter's graduation, I could put her graduated picture on there, and then little sentiments with dates, times, etc, etc. So I can have it like a memory card. So that's the first one done. So I'm going to open it out like a gatefold element, reinforcing my score lines as I go again, and then I'm going to put the next set of toppers on. So there is the next one. The good thing about this, they leave a nice border all the way around the outside, so you get to see a little bit of the backing paper. So I've decided I'll put my reindeers on the second one. So that's our first fold, that's our second fold. So as you notice now, this folds down in half. So on this one, you want a small square top and bottom corner before it opens. So it's always good to fold it open as you go, so you know exactly what to put where. So what you don't want to do is glue everything down and then find you can't actually open the card. So always check your next fold before you stick anything down. So a little bit of glue on the four corners, and then I'm putting presents in opposite top, right and left, flowers in opposite top, left and right. And that leaves me my second panels. I'm going to put the baubles down here. It's a lovely card as well. If somebody's had a baby and you want to do a little memory book, you can do exactly the same thing there with baby pictures. You can put the birth weight, date and time of birth, pictures of the new baby, the happy family, nanny and granddad, aunts and uncles. So it can be a lovely memory of anything that's going on at any one time. So now we've opened that, we're going to open it again and then do our next set. So we've got two small squares there, and we've got our long squares there. So I'm going to put the presents on these ones. Oops, almost glued. So we have baubles and then presents. And then we have our four little decorations. So our little squares are going to go there. I've just put a little bit too much glue on that, so what I'm going to do is use one of the other ones just to wipe off the excess glue, so I'm actually gluing two at the same time. So we're going to put a little square up there and the opposite one in the bottom right. And then with the flowers, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to do opposite corners, top and bottom. So So flowers at the top and again at the bottom. So make sure everything is stuck down, and then we open, oops, daisy, to the final fold. So I'm going to stick my large square at the top, and then my little white panel to write on. Now with the little white panel, it's just got decorative flowers in the top and the bottom corners. So it just gives you a nice border all the way around the outside, and then your little flowers that match. And I'm just going to put the last 4 side panels on. So as you can see, once you've done the mechanism, I have children playing in the snow outside, my neighbour, so ignore the screaming. I think they're having a snowball fight. So if you've got snow around where you, please take it careful. Don't go out unless you need to, and if you do go out, please stay safe. It is quite treacherous out there. I live in Birmingham, and at the moment where I am, we've got about 4 inches of snow and plenty more still coming down, and it's very, very, very cold. So if you are going out, please be safe. If you're not going out, please join me in craft. This is our finished never-ending card. So we're just going to make sure everything is pressed down. Now with my glue, it normally takes a couple of minutes to dry. I haven't given it that. I've been a bit lazy and did it straight away. So what we have is our finished never-ending card. So we have our decorative panels with our writing top and bottom. So we open the first fold as a gatefold card. The second one, we open top and bottom. The third one, we open as a gatefold card, which then leads us to our back panel, which is where we can write, and then back to our first panel. So here you now have your gatefold card, or a memory book, or a memory card if you choose to pop little pictures in, or anything else that you fancy. The envelope we made earlier, all we need to do for that is open it out and pop our finished never-ending card into the envelope, and then it's ready to be sent to the lucky person who gets this. So that is our never-ending card.